So far in this series, we've looked at helping learners notice language, making language easier to process, and modelling language through interaction. But there's still something missing, because hearing language, even hearing it clearly, is not enough. Language develops when learners start to use it, to try it out, to experiment, to say something, even if it's not quite right yet. And that's where interaction becomes really important. My name's Jane Maria Harding-DeRosa from Enriching English Language Teaching. So in this video, I want to share a few small teacher moves that create space for learners to work with language, again, without needing extra worksheets or complicated activities. First one is giving thinking time, kind of structured wait time. Let's start with something very simple. When we ask a question, how long do we wait? Most of the time it's about 1 second, but for EAL learners, that's often not enough because they're processing the question, translating or making sense of keywords, searching for language, building response. So one small shift is this: ask the question and wait. For example, why do you think the Romans expanded their empire? That pause gives time to think and time to find the language. Number 2, micro-rehearsal before speaking. Another really helpful move is giving learners a chance to rehearse before speaking publicly. So examples of this could be to think quietly, turn to your partner, share your idea, then respond as a class. Instead of going straight from question, answer, we build in question, think, rehearse, answer. This makes a huge difference. Learners don't feel put on the spot, and they're more likely to attempt a full response. Number 3 is using language during interaction, and this links back to the previous video. But here, learners start to use the language themselves. So for example, you model the River Nile is longer than the Amazon. Then learners compare 2 rivers, 2 mountains, 2 cities. Each time they reuse the same structure: is longer than, is higher than, is bigger than. So the language moves from something they hear to something they begin to use. Number 4 is prompting instead of explaining. When learners struggle, our instinct is often to explain. We fill the gap. We give them the answer. We move the lesson on. But sometimes a small prompt is far more effective because a prompt keeps the thinking with the learner. So, for example, a student may say, the plant grows faster because sunlight. And the prompt would be, because it grows faster because, or another example could be, the temperature increases because particles. And the teacher could prompt, because the particles. What happens to the particles? That prompt helps the learner complete the idea without taking over. We're not simplifying the task, we're scaffolding the language needed to complete it. And crucially, we're keeping the cognitive work with the learner. Number 5 is collaborative sentence building, and this is a simple but powerful technique. Instead of one learner answering, the class builds a sentence together. So, for example, the teacher might say, plants grow faster, and one student says, because, the next one says they get more sunlight, and so the sentence becomes, plants grow faster because they get more sunlight. And what this does is it reduces pressure on individuals. It allows learners to contribute small parts, and it builds a complete, accurate model together. So again, if we step back, all these moves do something very important. They create space for learners to think, to rehearse, for them to experiment, and to use language. Not perfectly, but meaningfully. Because language learning isn't built through explanation, it's built through use, through trying things out, adjusting, hearing it again, and trying again. This is where a lot of lessons fall short. We move too quickly from input to answer without giving learners enough time to work with the language in between. In the final video in this series, I'm going to look at one more important piece, because even when learners are using language, we need to make sure that it sticks. So I'd be really interested to know, which of these do you already use? And do you feel learners get enough time to actually work with language in your lessons? If you're interested in how these small classroom moves fit into the wider approach of language learning, this is something I explore more through the MMM framework. You can find the link to my course below. Thanks for watching. Bye!